What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be finishing up the lower control arms. We're going to build some brackets for the airbags to mount up to the cross member and try and get most of the front suspension done. So let's go. So let's pick up where we left off. Previously, you saw me build the lower control arms. They've still got cleanup and all that jazz to do, so don't judge me for that. And you also saw me make a press brake so that we could bend our 11 gauge steel for the spring bucket. There's our template. There's our good one. But it doesn't quite fit, so we're gonna have to take about 1/4 inch off the end of this here. So we're gonna take care of that. And then we're also gonna work on building mounts so that we can accommodate multiple different suspension styles, whether it be coil spring, coil over, or bags. Excuse all the background noise. I got 2 fans going. I think I speak for every Southerner when I say if you could describe the South in one word, humid. Yeah, that's how you fit it. Okay, spring bucket is good and tight. I got her set all the way flush. So that's just how I want it. So now all we gotta do is we're gonna put a few beads in here. I'm not gonna weld the whole thing just because that's really overkill and it's just not needed. So we're gonna weld some beads in there, make sure that sucker's in there solid, and then we can start making our designs for spring pocket. Okay, so as you can see, got our ball joints pressed in, got our uppers kind of mocked into place, and as you can see, the control arm isn't gonna quite fit with the frame sitting where it's at. So what we're gonna end up having to do is cut our little tack welds that's holding the frame in place and then raise it up, get it bolted in, and then we can start checking ride height. I've got to build a bracket because the bags that we're using, the compressed height is about 3 inches. It's 2.8 inches, but I don't like to fully compress or fully extend the bag whenever I do my measurements. So we're gonna make a 3-inch spacer, more or less, to take place of the bag. That way we can mock up our fully compressed height, and then we'll do on a 12-inch. I think we've got like 9 inches of total travel, so it's gonna be plenty. And then also, take a look down here. We're gonna build a plate that'll actually go through and bolt to the bottom of this control arm. That way the airbag doesn't sit up in there, and it'll bolt to the plate, go up in here, and our airlines will route in through the cross member. And then at a later date, we're actually gonna run our airlines in through the frame and all the way down. So let's get this thing going. Oh no, I put it on backwards. So I actually was trying to put the right hand cross member on the left. We're not perfect. We all have mistakes. So I got that one put on. You can see here. I've got to get some acorn style nuts to go on this. That'll help keep the dog bone centered, but we can go ahead and get our spindle bolted on. Well, that looks wrong. I think I put the wrong control arm on. So let's take it off and put it back on. Okay, so obviously I got a little turned around on which one went where, but the good thing about control arms is it's pretty darn obvious if you got it wrong, because that spindle ain't gonna look right. So here's what we got so far. Bolted up to the chassis. And that's gonna be, that looks like it's probably sitting about mid ride height right now, because we've got the bags actually gonna sit kind of flush, and it looks like we got, you know, 4 or 5 inches there, so she'll drop quite a bit. So that's what we got. C30 spindles, 1-ton spindles. This bad boy is gonna be a hoss. So I got a little anxious and I went ahead and put the hub on. So we'll put this nut on there. Once we get that, then we've got to take the lower control arms off, and I'll show you the mock-up plate for the upper bag mount. We'll put that up on the cross member and drill our holes. All right, so we got the control arms out. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna install these bag top plates. This is just a template that I cut out of 14 gauge. What we're probably gonna end up doing whenever we sell the bag kits is we're probably gonna send this template just because it's a little bit more flexible and there's a slight curvature here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna line this up and bolt it and clamp it up into place to where it's pretty well even across the board. And then we've got these 3/8 holes that we can mark, drill our holes, and we'll take this out, make our big plate, and put her in. Okay, so here's our airbag. We're gonna be running the Airlift D2600 series. Fantastic bag, not a paid promotion. And here's our cross member mounting plate. Pretty straightforward. There's only one way you can bolt up. You just line up the holes. Take your 2 grade 8 3/8 bolts and lock her down. So it looks like the only thing I'm gonna have to do is I may have to cut out this crossbar and move it back, which sucks. I should have not welded it fully, but it happens. And then I'll have to remake the bucket. I think that's about it. So for those of you that are new to fab or wanting to get into it or interested in it, best piece of advice I can give you is be prepared to cut up your work, because the chances of getting it right the first time every time are very little. So let's get this thing cut up. Okay. So I decided to turn the camera off, that way I could just buckle down, get this thing done. Let's take a look. So the control arms are just how I want her now. Bag brackets fit perfectly. You can see now we got all the clearance we need. I threw the wheel on there, no rubbing or nothing. Went ahead and got the other side done too. There you go. In the next video, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna bolt up our wheels, and I'm actually gonna build some brackets that'll simulate ground level out at where the tire is. That way when we hook up air, we can actuate the bags and see where she's gonna fall. It's probably not gonna bottom out completely just because there's hardly any weight up front. However, we're also going to be building our fish plates, at least for the outside of the frames, and we'll start working our way towards the rear. So thanks again for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you next time.